All right, good morning, traders. Today is it's December 12th, 2025. My name is Coach Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That is the day trading service for the Hit and Run Candlesticks family. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Appreciate you following my content, liking my content, sharing my content. Special shout out John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, everybody that shares my content helps get the good word out there to the rest of the world and the World Wide Web. All right, so let's take a look at SPY before we get going this morning. I want to just make some announcements here. Christmas Eve, we're not going to be in the room. I think the room will be open, but we're not going to be here from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and of course Saturday, Sunday. We'll return on Monday. On New Year's, we're going to be closed. Well, there won't be anybody in the room on New Year's Eve, all the way up until Friday. All right, and of course Saturday and Sunday. So we'll return on Monday. Just want to let you know the holiday hours so that you're not surprised. So the room will be here, but no one will be moderating inside the room. All right, so let's take a look. That's not what I wanted. All right, so my SPY pivot this morning, 686.90. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. IWM, Diamond Dow, and SLV made new all-time highs. I'm going to say SPY made a new all-time high in the post-market. Gold and SPY made higher highs and higher lows, closing over bullish traps over their 17 EMAs. FNGU and QQQ made lower highs and lower lows. FNGU closed under a bullish trap under the 17, while QQQ closed inside a bullish trap over the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a bullish 10-minute consolidation. USO in a daily downtrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. UNG in a daily downtrend, once again, made a lower high and lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17. US dollar index in a downtrend closed near 98.35 area. SPY Max Pain 685 with a put to call ratio of about 1.25. 1.25 puts for each call. That expires today at 4:15. These are in daily uptrends over the 17 EMA. These are in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. All right, let's take a look at SPY this morning, see how we're going to trade it. And let's pull up on the 10-minute chart. So into the close, we had price move up and then over to the right. So you had a little dip. All right, where we had like a little 10-minute downtrend, and then we had a 1-minute uptrend. And you can see they made a new all-time high in the post-market, but that doesn't count because we're only monitoring the open market. So really, price closed right here at 689.20. All-time high, of course, is 689.77, I believe. Had a nice 10-minute uptrend over VWAP with consolidation. All right, I'm looking for, this is bullish consolidation holding these highs. So I'm looking for a continuation of the uptrend this morning. I'm looking for a green candle. I don't want a spinning top. I don't want a doji. I don't want a red candle. I don't want any candle that's got more wick than body and tail combined. All right, so I'm looking for a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. And of course, I will box off the first 15 minutes, but I'm going to say a break below the bottom of that trend right there of the overnight action and the pre-morning action. Underneath that low would be a break of the bullish consolidation. All right, and I will trade it to the downside. First stop being where regular VWAP left off, which would be right here, 686.74. I look to see if there's a bounce, if they close underneath it. Some candles, I would look for further downside. And of course, the next target down would be the breakup candle low right here. Okay, well, it'd be breakup candle low which would be 684.60. If they get below that, start closing candles below that, I would look for this breakup candle low down here. All right, so again, probably going to be bullish. All right, will mark off the first 15 minutes of trading, but the break below this line right here, this would be the pre-morning action. That would probably trigger a downtrend into right down into this area right here. Might not even be a downtrend. Might be just a rubber band candle that stretches down to where VWAP left off, and then snaps back up to the pre-market VWAP, and then continues going higher to make the new all-time highs in the open market. We'll see what happens, okay? I like 695 calls this morning. I like 700 strike calls this morning, okay? Probably going to be trading these 695 strike calls this morning. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and if I don't have one, I am going to put that 695 in my queue or make a market order for one right now. So this is what I do in the morning as I come down here. I look for 0 DTE 695 and I find it right here. And I'm going to make a market orders. So, and this is so I don't have to go look for it. All right, because there's a high probability that I'm going to be trading this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a market order so that it fills right on the market, and I'm probably going to be trading it. So I want one in my queue when it's time to trade, so I don't have to go looking for it. So I place a buy order, and here it is. There's that buy order up there, okay, for a market order for the 695 calls. That way I don't have to go looking for it. So whatever it comes out to be, I'll have one of those in the morning. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for there. And on the downside, if I was looking for puts, of course it's going to be the 680 puts way down here, or 685 puts. All right, so I will go ahead and look for one of those. So let's go ahead and look for, well, let's call it 685 puts. Let's see what we got here for 685 puts. 685 put. That's 7 days. No, I want 0. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and slip one of those into my account, or make a market order for a bullish for a 685 put right now. That way I don't have to go looking for it. So I'll go ahead and buy one of those. Okay, so I got the 685. Might as well get. I already got the 680 in my queue already. So 680, 685 put. All right, and then I've got the 695 call. All right, so that way I have it in my queue. I don't have to go looking for it. All right, so you can see we left off 10-minute kind of bullish consolidation. Price moves up, holds the higher ground up here. I'm looking for a breakout this morning. Again, if they break this low, first target is where VWAP left off. Second target is breakup candle low right down here, that green candle. Bottom of that green candle, which would be 684.59. Next candle down is this breakup candle low, or the consolidation, actually the support, which is at 684.11. That's the next target below the breakup candle low, 684.11. And the target below that is going to be the breakup candle low, which happens to be 682.24. Breaking up. All right, let me just pause the video. Let me refresh. All right, if they break the low, this pre-market consolidation right here, if they break the low, my first target is going to be where VWAP left off, right there. Okay, where VWAP left off yesterday. So that's 686.76. If they get below that, they close candles underneath that. I'd look for candles to come down here to the breakup candle low, all right, which is at 684.59. All right, and if they get below that, I would look for price to come down to this breakup candle low, which would be support also, be 682.22 right over there. Okay, so below this, closing candles underneath it, I'd look for price to come down to this area here. All right, actually this one first, all right, which would be 685.88, then down to 684.64, and then down to 682.11, 682, yeah, 11, 22 right here. Okay, so getting below this, that's where my puts would take me. Would be to this candle low first, right there at 685.83. Okay, and then down to this breakup candle low. All right, and then down to this one right here. So we'll see what happens. All right. Again, on the high side, I'd be looking for gap fill. All right, right there, and the overnight high, which would be 691.25. Okay, that would be my high side targets up there. Okay, so that's SPY. All right, on the 2-hour chart, we have 2-hour uptrend. Candlesticks on top of the 3 EMA. 3 EMA and the candlesticks riding on top of the 8 EMA. So we have 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Remember the 10-minute? All right, came into the close, was 10-minute bullish consolidation. Okay, we were up over the 8 EMA, then we came under the 8 EMA, then we came back up over the 8 EMA. Okay, it's a 10-minute bullish consolidation. On the daily chart, okay, for the daily chart, we put in a higher low and a higher high. We closed over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. That's these green dots right there. Okay, on the quad lines, up here at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Here's the April low. That's bullish and in an uptrend right there on SPY. Okay, for the game plan, we've got, okay, here's our game plan this morning. Okay, we've got green erases red entry over 689.25. The pivot 686.90. Above it I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. Got red erases green. Underneath 682.15. I don't think we'll get that far. We might. We don't even know. Okay, so okay, that's the morning game plan. I like for both SPY and QQQ. I like 7 days till expiration and 14 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5, specifically for the open interest. Okay, because higher open interest equals greater liquidity. All right, I want to be able to get in and out with less slippage. I want a tighter bid-ask spread. I don't want a wide 50-cent bid-ask spread. I want something tight. Okay, so I don't have to wait, all right, to get filled on my order. I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money, specifically for the low price point, okay? The closer I am to zero, the less risk I have to lose, all right? So I like 30 to $1.40, $1.20, okay? That's what I like to trade. So I like trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Now, I'm not opposed to trading in the money options, okay? But bear in mind, they're going to cost you more, but they will give you better performance. If you like in the money, you will get better performance than I will trading out of the money, okay? It's going to be hard to double your trade if you trade in the money options. It will be much easier for me to max out and get 100% trading out of the money options, all right? But it all depends on what your goals are, okay? So, again, in the money, you will get much better performance. Out of the money, you have a higher chance of getting 200%, 300%, 400%, okay? I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. VWAP, to me, represents the price, what it should be, all right? So if price is up over VWAP, that means investors feel like, or the market feels like the product is worth more, all right? So I want to be bullish. If price is under VWAP, that means the market feels like price the market feels like it is overpriced. So they start shedding their positions or money is leaving the SPY. Okay, so I want to be bearish on those. Now I'm not opposed to trading 10-minute uptrends that manifest or originate down here, okay, underneath the red erases green entry, or down here underneath the pivot, or right here before the green erases red entry. I'm not opposed to trading it. I just like to see a 10-minute bullish rubber band candle be broken, all right, so that I can know that price is not going to snap back to VWAP and head lower, okay? So I like that bullish rubber band, 10-minute rubber band candle to be broken. When I do trade those 10-minute uptrends that happen to manifest, you know, down here, okay, just over the pivot, all right? Same thing with the downtrends. I'm not opposed to trading a downtrend that starts or originates up here, okay, up over green erases red, or up here above the pivot, okay? Again, I just like to see a 10-minute or a 5-minute bearish rubber band candle be broken so that I'm not concerned about price getting recalled back to VWAP and then moving higher against my trade, which is my bias was a 10-minute downtrend, okay? So again, I'm not opposed to trading 10-minute downtrends up here, and I'm not opposed to trading 10-minute uptrends down here. I just like to have like a threshold of what I want to see to happen in order to take that trade. Okay, so there's SPY. That's my game plan this morning. QQQ's got a game plan as well. Okay, QQQ. Again, on QQQ, we got this goes to 7, and this goes to 14. Right here, this goes to 7. All right, and this goes to a P. All right, capital P. All right, we have green erases red entry over 629.20. We have pivot right here is 624. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erases green entry underneath 619.50. Okay, so 10-minute downtrend underneath that. That is a red erases green entry. Pivot, 624. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Green erases red entry up over 629.20. Okay, same thing. I like 7 days and 14 days till expiration. Friday options specifically on the multiple of 5, specifically for the open interest. Higher liquidity equals less slippage, tighter bid-ask spread. That's what I like. Higher open interest usually tends to equal higher liquidity. I like strikes. I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Again, I'm not opposed to trading in the money options. Okay, you're going to get much better performance than I will, but you will be further away from zero and more susceptible if price decides to take a big dip and you don't have your stop in. All right, so that's why I trade strikes that are, you know, between the range of 30 and $1.20 and $1.40. Okay. I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. Same thing. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Let's look at QQQ on the 10-minute chart. Coming into the close, you had the same thing. 10-minute bullish consolidation right here. Let's pick up a clean chart and let's look at the 2-hour chart. Okay, you got 2-hour had a 2-hour uptrend. Okay, a weak 2-hour uptrend right there. Got the 3 EMA is up over the 8 EMA. The candlestick, the 3 are up, and the 8 are all up over the 17. Okay, so a weak 2-hour uptrend on QQQ. On the daily chart, okay, looking like, see what the high is here. High here is 629.21. High here is 629.15. Lower high, lower low. Closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Okay, that's QQQ on the daily chart. Here's the high. They made a higher high. They're still in an uptrend. Okay, here's the April low. We're up here in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Still in an uptrend and closing over all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so that's QQQ on the daily chart. Weekly chart for both QQQ and SPY are still up there in quadrant 4. They're both bullish and still in uptrends. Nothing's broken yet on those two charts, QQQ and SPY. Same thing with the monthly. Okay, they're still bullish up there in quadrant 4 and in uptrends. Both of those. Take a look at IWM. IWM on the daily chart. Okay, you can see right here. Here's the candle. Is that right? No. There's the candle right here. New all-time high for IWM on the daily chart. Higher low, higher high, over the bullish trap, over the 17, and over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So new all-time high for IWM. Drop the mic. Doesn't get any better than that. Here's the April low. We're at the top of quadrant 4. If you're making new all-time highs, it's almost guaranteed that you are in an uptrend and bullish. All right, so there's IWM making a new all-time high. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow makes a new all-time high yesterday. Okay, drop the mic. Bullish, doesn't get any better than that. Okay, so it's bullish and in an uptrend. You can see here April low. Okay, up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. That's Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU is a little stinker right here, okay, with outside day. Okay, that's higher high, lower low, closing under bearish cross, under the 17. Okay, heading back down towards major support right here, which is this green line. All right, but and closing underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. So that's FNGU on the daily chart. It's still bullish and still in an uptrend. Hasn't broken anything back in a downtrend. So it's bullish and in a downtrend right now. Okay, it's up there in quadrant 4. All right, and it just made a lower low yesterday. Okay, so that's FNGU. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver, yesterday, new all-time high. Okay, bullish and in an uptrend. Gold, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Gold running off to look like it wants to make some new all-time highs on gold. Okay, again, bullish. Here's the April low, bullish, and in an uptrend. Actually, the 2023 low right here, down here in quadrant 1. Bullish and in an uptrend. UNG. All right, UNG in a downtrend. They made, here's a low. They made a lower low. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap under the 17. Okay, so that's bearish. Okay, and that's bearish and in a downtrend. Down here in quadrant 1. Under this 2025 high anchored VWAP. USO. All right, USO got a, this is the green candle right here, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. USO getting pinched, got a downtrend line, got an uptrend line. Okay, so in a downtrend currently, and just about to break into the lower third. It's neutral right now, but they start closing candles down here in the lower third, and that's going to equate to a bearish. Anything in the lower third would be bearish for me. So there's USO falling apart. All right, so let's take a look at technicals, T2101. So yesterday the market moved up, and participation and the breadth moved up. That's a welcoming sight to see. T2122, the market moved up, and price action consolidated up here in these overbought zone on the 15-minute chart, T2122. That's a welcoming sight right there. T2123 in a 15-minute uptrend and over the 200 SMA. That is a welcoming sight for the bulls, okay? Got a high, made a higher high. Okay, so put the quad lines on here. That's the all-time high right here. So let's take this, move it out. You can see we're back here at the midpoint. We're no longer in the lower third, so we're just neutral through here on price with T21, 23, 15-minute chart. Okay, we'll take a look at 3-bar chart. Okay, you can see price action finally. Here's a high. They made a higher high, so they're in an uptrend. Price action up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. All right, and that's what I like. We're up over the midpoint right here of the all-time high. Okay, so that's bullish. Let's take care of this. Get rid of this. All right, it's bullish because it's up here in quadrant 4. That's bullish. All right, and in an uptrend. All right, and we're on top of the flat 200. All right, and things are looking positive this morning. So that's T2123 3-bar chart. Okay, on FNGU, this is a little stinker here. All right, goes up and gives it up. Okay, and we find ourselves under the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's this pink line right there. Okay, not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. All right, and we're under the 200 SMA. Again, not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. So you can see we were underneath this 200 SMA. In the post market, we got up there, and we gave it up. Okay, so not a good sign. All right, so that's FNGU. Remember, this is the heavyweights. Okay, again, we've got consolidation showing up in the pre-market, under consolidation. Would not want to break these lows right here. Okay, and we've tested these lows multiple times. So this thing could start falling apart and begin another head and shoulders to the downside. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's FNGU. Take a look at the economic package. Go over here to the dollar. Okay, so here's the 2025 high for the US dollar index. You see price came all the way down here in August and then bear flagged over to the right. Okay, we're currently in a big bear flag. Price action, you can see there's a low right here. And we made lower low, so that puts us in a daily downtrend. Okay, if the dollar pulls down to here, there's a possibility you see SPY 700. Okay, breaking these lows. If it keeps going, we could see SPY 750. We'll see. All right, that'll definitely cause gold and silver to spike even higher. There's the U.S. dollar index. The consumer in us, we hate a weak dollar, because it makes all of our goods and services more expensive. But the investor in us loves it because it makes all our goods and services cheaper and more affordable in the global markets. All right. And of course, more revenue or increase in revenue makes more profits most of the time. Okay. And that usually equates to a higher earnings per share. Higher earnings per share means you get a better price. In other words, price moves up. So we could see some more upside in T2123, maybe SPY, Russell 2000, all of them right there. Earnings report. Last night was AVGO. It's almost about $2 trillion. This morning, nothing here that's going to be market moving. All right, probably some leftover momentum happening from AVGO. We'll see what happens. On the economic calendar, we just have a rig count at 1 o'clock. Okay, so nothing on the economic calendar. Max Payne, 685. Put to call ratio, 1.26. Okay, so about 1.25 puts for each call today. So not much of a put squeeze. Max Payne is 685. We may take a visit back to 685 today. We'll see what happens, okay? That's it for me, traders. I will be back in about 30 minutes, and we will open up the markets and trade them. All right? Thank you, everybody.